When men cross the age of 40, their bodies begin to change in ways that are subtle at first but can have profound impacts on long-term health. One of the key hormones that often gets overlooked is testosterone. Tracking it is not about vanity, it's about vitality, energy, and overall well-being. Testosterone plays a critical role in muscle mass, bone density, metabolism, mood regulation, and even sexual health. When levels begin to decline, something that naturally happens with age, men may experience fatigue, weight gain, loss of motivation, reduced libido, and even changes in cognitive sharpness. The challenge is that many men normalize these symptoms, attributing them to simply getting older, when in fact, these are signs worth investigating. Monitoring hormone health provides men with a roadmap. It allows them to catch imbalances early and take steps to improve quality of life. This doesn't always mean medication. Sometimes lifestyle modifications such as strength training, quality sleep, balanced nutrition, reducing alcohol, and managing stress can make a dramatic difference. But without tracking, there's no way of knowing where you stand. Beyond testosterone, this age is also the right time to track blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and prostate health. Why? Because prevention is always more powerful than reaction. Many conditions, diabetes, heart disease, or metabolic syndrome, don't show obvious symptoms until they're advanced. By the time a problem feels urgent, damage may already be done. Think of your body like a car that has carried you through decades of journeys. At 40 and beyond, it's not about waiting for the engine to fail. It's about doing regular maintenance so it runs smoothly for decades more. Men often prioritize work, family, and responsibilities over themselves. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking ownership of your health is not selfish. It's necessary. Tracking testosterone and other key markers gives you knowledge, and knowledge empowers action. If you are over 40, consider this a wake-up call. Have that conversation with your healthcare provider. Ask for a full panel of tests, including hormone levels. Take the results seriously and see them as an invitation to optimize, not just survive, but thrive. Because when your health is strong, everything else in life, your relationships, your career, your sense of purpose, becomes stronger too. Don't wait until symptoms force you to pay attention. Be proactive, be informed, and invest in the one asset you can't replace: your health. For many men, turning 40 feels like crossing an invisible threshold. Energy is no longer the same. Recovery after workouts takes longer. Sleep may feel less refreshing, and subtle changes in body composition begin to show. While these shifts are often dismissed as the natural process of aging, a key player behind them is testosterone, a hormone central to vitality and longevity. The real issue is not simply that testosterone declines with age, but that many men are unaware of this change because they never monitor it. Testosterone is often reduced to a symbol of masculinity, but in reality, it is a deeply functional hormone that touches nearly every system in the male body. It regulates muscle mass, supports strong bones, influences mood and mental sharpness, and drives metabolic health. When testosterone levels dip too low, the consequences ripple far beyond sexual health. They impact the body's ability to maintain strength, the mind's ability to stay sharp, and even the heart's ability to remain healthy. One of the most visible changes linked to lower testosterone is the gradual loss of muscle. After 40, men who don't track their levels often notice their muscles shrinking even if their exercise routine hasn't changed. This isn't just about appearance. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, making it easier to gain fat, especially around the abdomen. Abdominal fat, in turn, increases the risk of insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. Monitoring testosterone levels gives men the chance to catch this trend early before it becomes a cascade of health problems. Equally important is bone health. Testosterone helps maintain bone density, yet osteoporosis in men is rarely discussed. A man with low testosterone who doesn't know it is quietly increasing his risk of fractures later in life. A fall in his 60s or 70s could mean months of rehabilitation or even permanent disability. Proactive monitoring provides a safety net against such outcomes, giving men the opportunity to protect their skeletal strength well before it becomes fragile. The mind is also directly influenced by this hormone. Testosterone has a strong relationship with mental clarity, focus, and mood stability. Men with low levels often describe feeling drained, unmotivated, or mentally foggy. In some cases, it mimics depression. These symptoms are often misattributed to work stress or midlife crisis, but at their root may lie hormonal imbalance. Regular testing can prevent years of silent frustration by pointing toward a biological cause and with it a pathway to solutions. Sexual health is another dimension where testosterone plays a defining role. Reduced libido and erectile challenges are often the first signs men notice, yet many remain reluctant to discuss them. These issues carry emotional weight affecting confidence, self-esteem, and intimacy. Monitoring testosterone provides clarity. It separates hormonal factors from psychological or vascular causes and allows men to take steps toward restoring both health and connection in their relationships. The importance of monitoring lies not only in detecting decline, but also in establishing a baseline. A healthy man at 42 may have optimal testosterone levels, but without testing, he has no point of comparison for later years. Baselines allow men to detect meaningful changes rather than relying on vague feelings of fatigue or weakness. Over time, this record becomes a powerful tool, guiding both lifestyle choices and medical interventions. There is also compelling evidence linking testosterone to long-term survival. Men with chronically low levels face higher risks of metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, and premature mortality. This is not coincidence. Hormones orchestrate how the body functions on a cellular level. When testosterone is balanced, the body works efficiently. When it is deficient, the entire system struggles. In this sense, monitoring testosterone is not about vanity, it is about adding both years to life and life to years. The process of monitoring itself is simple, a blood test. Yet the decision to take that test is often delayed by stigma, fear, or the false belief that what I don't know can't hurt me. In reality, ignorance carries the greatest risk. The earlier imbalances are detected, the greater the chance of correcting them through lifestyle changes such as resistance training, sleep optimization, balanced nutrition, and stress management. In cases where those adjustments aren't enough, medical therapies can be considered with the guidance of a professional. At its core, testosterone monitoring after 40 is about responsibility. It is about choosing to lead life with energy, clarity, and strength rather than surrendering to decline. Men who track their hormone levels are not chasing youth, they are investing in health. They are ensuring they remain strong providers, engaged partners, and vibrant individuals well into their later decades. Vitality and longevity do not come by accident. They are the result of choices, awareness, and proactive care. Monitoring testosterone is one of those choices, a simple, powerful step that can transform the course of a man's health. For those over 40, the time is now. When men over 40 think about testosterone, many immediately imagine medical treatments or supplements. While those may sometimes be necessary, the truth is that lifestyle choices form the foundation of hormonal health. Testosterone is highly responsive to daily habits. What you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how you manage stress all have a direct influence. The encouraging reality is that men have far more control than they realize. By making deliberate lifestyle adjustments, they can naturally support healthy testosterone levels and, in turn, safeguard vitality and long-term well-being. One of the most powerful influences on testosterone is exercise, particularly resistance training, lifting weights, performing bodyweight exercises, or engaging in activities that challenge muscles signal the body to produce more testosterone. This is not just about building bulk. Strength training helps preserve lean muscle mass, boost metabolism, and improve insulin sensitivity, all factors that protect against the age-related decline in testosterone. Even just 2 to 3 sessions per week can make a noticeable difference. Additionally, incorporating short bursts of high-intensity interval training, HIIT, has been shown to stimulate testosterone release more effectively than steady-state cardio. Nutrition is another cornerstone of hormonal balance. Testosterone production relies on adequate intake of healthy fats, proteins, and micronutrients. Diets overly restricted in calories or excessively low in fat can suppress hormone production. Foods rich in zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D are especially important as deficiencies in these nutrients are linked to lower testosterone. Incorporating lean meats, eggs, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, and fatty fish like salmon can provide the building blocks necessary for optimal hormone function. On the other hand, diets heavy in processed foods, refined sugars, and alcohol contribute to insulin resistance, inflammation, and weight gain, all of which suppress testosterone. Weight management is deeply connected to testosterone health. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, increases aromatase activity, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. This means higher fat levels can actually accelerate hormonal decline. By maintaining a healthy weight through mindful eating and regular physical activity, men not only improve their testosterone profile, but also reduce risks of chronic diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular conditions. Sleep may be one of the most overlooked yet critical factors in testosterone regulation. Studies show that men who consistently get fewer than 6 hours of sleep per night experience significantly lower testosterone levels than those who sleep well. Testosterone is produced in cycles, with the majority released during deep sleep. Poor or insufficient rest disrupts this natural rhythm, leaving men fatigued, irritable, and hormonally imbalanced. Prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep by setting a consistent bedtime, limiting screens before bed, and creating a restful environment provides one of the most effective and natural boosts to testosterone. Stress management also plays a pivotal role. Chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that directly interferes with testosterone production. When cortisol is high, testosterone is suppressed. Men over 40 are often balancing careers, family responsibilities, and financial pressures, making stress nearly unavoidable. However, incorporating stress, reducing practices like mindfulness, meditation, yoga, or even daily walks in nature can significantly reduce cortisol and allow testosterone to remain stable. Alcohol and smoking are two lifestyle choices that directly undermine hormonal health. Regular alcohol consumption disrupts liver function, which is essential for hormone regulation, while smoking introduces toxins that damage blood vessels and impair overall endocrine balance. Cutting back on alcohol and quitting smoking are not just good for the heart and lungs, they directly protect testosterone production and function. An often forgotten element is exposure to environmental toxins. Many everyday products contain chemicals known as endocrine disruptors, substances that mimic or block hormonal activity. Plastics containing BPA, certain pesticides, and even some personal care products can negatively influence testosterone. By choosing glass or stainless steel over plastic, washing produced thoroughly, and opting for natural grooming products, men can reduce unnecessary hormonal stressors. Another key aspect of lifestyle-driven hormonal health is consistency. Occasional workouts, sporadic healthy meals, or short-term stress breaks will not sustain testosterone over decades. What matters most is creating daily habits that become second nature. Small, consistent changes accumulate into powerful long-term results. Ultimately, lifestyle choices are the foundation upon which medical interventions may or may not be added. Before considering therapies, every man over 40 should ask, am I exercising regularly? Am I eating nutrient-rich foods? Am I prioritizing sleep? Am I managing stress effectively? These questions often reveal simple but transformative opportunities to restore balance naturally. Supporting testosterone through lifestyle is about more than numbers on a lab report. It is about reclaiming energy, protecting strength, improving mood, and enhancing quality of life. By taking ownership of daily choices, men can slow down the hormonal decline that often feels inevitable with age. They can move through their 40s, 50s, and beyond, not just surviving, but thriving. In short, lifestyle is medicine. Every meal, every workout, every night of rest, and every moment of stress management is a decision that either supports or sabotages hormonal health. Men who understand this truth unlock the power to shape their own aging process, and that is the essence of vitality and longevity. When men reach their 40s, the conversation around health often centers on visible changes, weight gain, lower energy, or declining strength. But beneath the surface, silent processes may already be unfolding. These are the quiet conditions that don't show obvious symptoms until they have advanced high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, insulin resistance, and even early stage cancers. They develop slowly, often unnoticed. Yet they account for the majority of serious health problems later in life. This is why preventive health tracking is not a luxury, it is a necessity. By monitoring key markers regularly, men can identify risks early, take corrective action, and protect themselves from diseases that might otherwise go undetected until it is too late. One of the most important silent conditions is cardiovascular disease. High blood pressure and high cholesterol rarely cause pain or visible symptoms in their early stages, yet they gradually damage arteries and increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Men over 40 who do not track these markers may feel healthy while hidden damage is accumulating. A simple blood pressure reading or cholesterol test can reveal issues before they escalate, giving men the chance to adjust their diet, exercise habits, or medication under professional guidance. Preventive checks transform what could become a crisis into a manageable situation. Another silent but widespread concern is diabetes. Elevated blood sugar and insulin resistance often build for years before a diagnosis is made. Many men dismiss early signs like fatigue, frequent urination, or increased thirst because they appear minor. However, unchecked diabetes can damage nerves, kidneys, eyes, and the cardiovascular system. Preventive screening through fasting glucose, HbA1c, or insulin sensitivity tests allows men to detect problems in their earliest, most reversible stages. Lifestyle interventions, especially weight management and exercise, are far more effective before diabetes becomes advanced. Hormonal health, particularly testosterone, also fits into the preventive category. Low levels are not just about sexual health, they are linked to increased risks of obesity, depression, and cardiovascular disease. Without tracking, men may not realize their hormones are declining until multiple health issues converge. Monitoring hormone levels early creates opportunities for lifestyle changes or targeted therapies that prevent a downward spiral of related conditions. Cancer screening is another critical component of preventive health. Prostate cancer, for example, is one of the most common cancers in men, and its early stages are often symptomless. A simple PSA, prostate-specific antigen test, or digital rectal exam can detect abnormalities before they become life-threatening. Colon cancer screening, typically through colonoscopy, can actually prevent cancer by removing precancerous polyps. Men who avoid these screenings out of fear or discomfort put themselves at unnecessary risk. Preventive tracking is not about waiting for illness. It is about intercepting it before it begins. Weight and body composition should also be part of preventive monitoring. While body weight alone can be misleading, tracking waist circumference, body fat percentage, and BMI over time provides a clearer picture of metabolic health. Central obesity, particularly fat around the abdomen, is strongly associated with heart disease, diabetes, and hormone imbalances. Regular tracking makes it harder to ignore gradual changes that add up to serious risks. Preventive health is not limited to physical markers. Mental health screening is equally important. Depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline can creep in subtly, often dismissed as stress or fatigue. Mental health assessments, memory evaluations, and honest conversations with healthcare providers allow for early interventions. Emotional well-being is inseparable from physical health, and monitoring it is part of a complete preventive approach. The power of preventive tracking lies in its ability to give men control. Many health crises that appear sudden, like a heart attack or stroke, are actually the result of years of unnoticed buildup. Tracking provides the warning signs long before catastrophe. It transforms the healthcare journey from reactive to proactive. Instead of being surprised by illness, men can plan, adapt, and stay ahead. It is also important to highlight that preventive health is not about living in fear. It is about empowerment. Knowing your numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, hormone levels is like having a dashboard for your body. Just as you wouldn't drive a car for decades without checking the oil or brakes, you shouldn't move through your 40s, 50s, and beyond without monitoring your most vital systems. These checks do not limit life, they extend and enrich it. Ultimately, preventive health tracking is an investment. It saves money, time, and emotional strain by catching problems when they are easiest to treat. It allows men to live with confidence, knowing they are doing everything within their control to safeguard their future. For men over 40, preventive tracking should be seen not as an optional step, but as a fundamental responsibility to themselves, to their families, and to the years of life they still want to live fully. Silent diseases thrive in the absence of awareness. Preventive tracking shines light into the shadows, exposing risks before they take hold. Men who embrace this practice protect not just their health, but their independence and legacy.